Yo-ho! Welcome to my channel. It's Megan, the Colorful Pirate, and I'm back. It's been a while since I did a video, especially a completed pages video. I did really good for a couple months, and then I didn't color anything in June. But it was really rainy at the end of May, and I just could never get a good light situation. And then I went to visit my mom in Oregon in June, and so I just haven't really been coloring. I have gotten into diamond painting though, which is a whole other thing that is now eating up all of my time because I've really been enjoying that. I might show some of them at the end of this video if I have time to edit them in. I may not. I may just do a whole other video on that if that is something that you are interested in or that you also do. But enough of that. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let's look at things I did. I had quite a, let's see, I'll just go in the back. There we go. I did a lot of completing the whips. Lavelia, I believe, yeah. No, not Lavelia. Passionista Colorista. Has a tag of whipping the whips or completing the whips, I don't know. But I did a whole bunch of them in April? Yeah, April. So, this is Neil Dring Mystic Tattoo. I had started this in 2020, maybe 2021, but I finally finished it. And I did this for my own hashtag with a Celtic Knots hashtag. Really glad I finished it. I had like all that done. I really only had to finish like a little, like this bottom part of the dragon. But yeah, this is way back the first time I ever used water-based markers in here, and I hadn't done it very well, so I had to go over a colored pencil, which is fine. Nothing. Oh yeah, I did use a little bit of gold. I don't know if you can see it with the window open. I guess so. It's subtle. It's a subtle gold in here. Sorry, I was gonna see if a light would help it better, but it just shined on the colored pencil. And I don't know if it's something new about my setup or something new about my technique, but I've been getting a lot more waxy, like, shine in my colored pencils, and maybe it's just a difference in lighting at my new place. But anyway, I finished this one in March, so we're looking at March, April, and May. So yeah. I liked it, enjoy it. I love doing the shading in there. And then I did Arteza gouache or Castle Arts. I don't know, gouache yellow, and then I did some distressed ink, kind of trying to make it look like a old manuscript. But yeah, I have another whip in here. I thought about trying to finish. Yeah, that one you can see the shine. I finished another whip in this one. The Spring Book from Rita Berman, and it is this page here. I had started this last year, and let's see if you can see it. There we go. And yeah, I had colored. I did the background with a Maker's Mark metallic from like the dollar store, something like this. Marker from Colored by Maya had the idea last year and started doing that on hers, so I done it with mine. And then I based it in water-based markers and then did some shading with Castle Arts and a lot of gel pen accents and silver in the clouds to kind of make them pop a little bit. White gel pen, obviously. But yeah, I'm glad I started it last year and I finished it this year. So I really like how that turned out. It's kind of a simple page, but I like when you have kind of doodly bits. I don't know if you can really tell. Sometimes it's, I covered all the lines with a glitter gel. Yeah, you can see it if I get closer. Woo, there. You can kind of see that. But when it's further away, it competes with the background. So it's one of those things you have to kind of balance out. But I don't know. I like it. In the end, I really like it. Uh-oh. Put this back in here. I also finished one in George Tufexis' Wonders of Nature. I think this one is my favorite book. I finished this page with big markers. I'd done almost all of it. I should have taken some before this month and then after, but I started this last year, maybe the year before. Whenever this came out, I started this, and yeah, I really like how it turned out. I mostly used Bic. I used some water-based markers for the colors I didn't have specifically, or like the smaller, like these very fine details. And then the way to really make these pop for me is to like outline some of the closer elements. And I like to use a color that's close to their color. And then I use like a black color on the things I really wanted to stand out. But I feel like this green came out a little too thick. But it's done and I like it and it was a lot of fun to do. I need to do more. Did I start another one in here? This one's so gorgeous. I did a Angela Porter color along. I don't know if people aren't really doing a whole lot of color alongs anymore after Instagram changed the hashtag gallery, or maybe my color alongs just were rather niche. Because I didn't get a whole lot of response on a lot of them, but I really love seeing the ones that you did join in, so thank you everybody that did join in on them. This was also another whip. This is in Angela Porter's Eerie and Tangled Art. And I had started this one last year. And I finished it this year. I was trying to go for a limited color palette. I'm still working on knowing like the contrast, like when to put colors next to each other. I think it turned out okay though. It's nice though, like I haven't looked at these in a while, you know, like a month. I haven't looked at any of these. I haven't colored anything in a month, and it's actually really nice to look at them now because I'm like, wow, this is actually really cool. Which, does that happen to you? See, I colored silver, the clouds, the Bat Cat has some glitter gel. It's all Bic Intensity, I do believe, based, and then colored pencils and gel pens. But yeah, you know, you'd be working on something and it's just like driving you, I don't know, you feel like it's not great. Love these little ghosts. And then you like put it away for a while and you come back to it and you're like, oh, there's literally nothing wrong with this. It's wonderful. Sometimes you just have to step away from it, I guess. We can be our own worst critics. I was reorganizing all my books, and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be coloring in Spring Awakening every year. This is by Deborah Muller. This is one of her Zen Doodle books. I did not finish that. But I did this one in April. And yeah, it's just Kitty hanging out in the grasses. I used water-based markers this time because I found in the past, I felt like the alcohol markers were kind of splotchy, is that? And like they just, I don't know, they acted weird on this paper. It's still, and they came out really dark, but so I used my water-based markers and I felt like they turned out okay. A little bit of streaking, but I need to do a video soon on how I minimize streaking. But these are so nice for when you just need to sit down at the end of the day and you're too tired to do anything serious, or you need to warm up. That's what I've started using these for, is like warming up my hand, because sometimes when I've been anxious or it's been a hard day, I'll sit down and I start coloring and I'm just like, ah. And I gotta like, you know, focus, calm down, start paying attention to what I'm doing, get in that head zone. And these are really nice for that, because who cares? I mean, it's just a pretty simple image, but in the end, I like how they turn out. And then I feel like ready to do something more serious afterwards. Let's see, a couple more. I did a Loriza May color along, which maybe because it was May and everybody was doing mermaids, was my least participated in color along of the last 3 months, but you know, whatever. I did one in Mermaid, Chibi Girls, because duh, it was May, and I'm so happy with the way this one turned out. Whoops. This is I did her as my jewel tone mermaid for Elm Colors. Her her color along with the different weeks themes. And I really loved how this came out. And I mean, I did it pretty quick too. The alcohol marker base, oh-hoo-hoos. And I did some shading with them, which I need to do more often because it really does make a difference. So you can see here like how I did some shading. And I was experimenting with a little bit of a different light source. So like usually I do it from here down and kind of in front. But here it was like over here, down, and kind of behind. So, so I like how that turned out. And it kind of gives it this eerie, like, you know, she seems kind of spooky mermaid, but also cute. You know, spooky cute. And the water is green because she's in some sort of murky. But, you know, water, I was at the ocean and, you know, it looks kind of green sometimes, especially depending on how the sun is hitting it. But I kind of imagine her in like a bog of some sort. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think I did colored pencil, probably Castle Arts, maybe Prismacolor. I'm not entirely sure. Some gel pen. My light is fading. I did my Maker's Mark from Hobby Lobby, the iridescent watercolor there, and it turned out great. I need to use those more often. And what else? I was trying something else with this. Like, so this is interesting because first I used just a white gel pen. Of course, it started picking up the pink. Hold on a second. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I did the white gel pen. I did a couple layers of white gel pen. It was not working, of course, because it's a purple. Deep red, purples always seem to bleed through. So I tried, which I hadn't used this before, but my bleed proof white, which is supposed to be bleed proof. And I'd seen people mention it before, but I don't know if I'm using it right. I had a hard time. I must not be using it right or something because I couldn't find an answer to my question, but maybe you can help me. This is very goop. It's goopy. It's not even paint. It's like putty almost. Is that how it's supposed to be? Am I supposed to mix it with water? I think I did mix it with a little bit of water. I don't know. It's old too. Maybe, I mean, it's not that old. It's a couple years maybe, and I hadn't even opened it, so I don't know. If you have experience with bleed proof, right, please let me know how you use it. Is it always like that? But it still did end up picking up color from underneath it. So I don't know, but I don't care. It's beautiful. She's gorgeous. And then I did Jamie's Coloring Love does the Disney Mandala challenge thingy. I want to say it's Jamie's Coloring Love. And hers was Ariel for May. And so first I did this. And again, it was kind of like I had, kind of like my color by numbers. I was just sort of setting down and doing it and not being very careful. So, yeah, just use oh-hoo-hoos mostly. These are Ariel colors, her skin, her tail, her hair. And then, you know, some shiny metal gel pen. That is something. It's very chaotic. This is Lighthearted Mandalas to Go, Snickerdoodling. This was the first thing I've ever colored in this book, too. So I decided to give it another try with the exact same colors. And I did it in 50 Classy Mandalas to Color by Camellia Angelkova. This is a new book, and I hadn't colored in it yet. And so I thought to myself, okay, if we're going to do a mandala challenge, like maybe what I need to do is like break it down in her proportions. Like I don't know if any of you remember, but for a while in the mid 2010s, there was like that thing going around on the internet where it was like a quiz, but they just had like bars of color. And you had to guess what like animated cartoon character it was just based on the color proportions. I don't know. If I can find a picture and I feel like editing it in, I'll put it here. But I thought, okay, I'm going to do something kind of like that. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. So, let me get the color change. Okay, so, yeah, so I thought, you know, her hair is like the biggest thing on top, and then there's some skin, you know, but the skin color was throwing it off on the other one, so I wanted to keep that minimum. And then like her bra, the purple, which in the picture I took was not looking very purple, but it looks a lot more purple here. And then, you know, her green tail underneath. And I picked this one too because these leaves kind of reminded me of tails. And I did some shading, which I don't often do in mandalas. I don't actually know if I've ever shaded a mandala since I started coloring. So, let's see if we can get a little bit more light. There we go. And I decided to treat these things that look like gems as gems. And I really, really like how it all turned out. And I used the same metallic marker. And I've noticed that they look really good when it's kind of like the outsides or just like the thin lines or the outlines, more so than anything else on mandalas. That's what I like in other people's mandalas. So yeah, I just really like how it turned out, and I love that I shaded it. I just shaded the top part. I kind of left the back alone. I did a little bit, but something also Colored by Maya had been talking about in a video at the time was that you don't have to shade everything in a picture. Sometimes just shading some of it is more effective. And it reminds me of a concept I used to think a lot about, but I had completely forgotten about until then, was overworking your art piece is a thing. So sometimes less is more, and you need to take a step back and not overburden your pictures with the details and all the little, you know, things. Because even in real life, your brain's not registering all the little details about the world around you, which is one of those things that when I watch something on Blu-ray really bothers me, because I can see all the hairs on somebody's face at the same time. I can see the texture of the wall behind them, and it's just so unnatural. But that's completely unrelated to anything. So yeah, those are the things that I colored. I've done several diamond paintings in June, but I hopefully will start coloring again this month. I'm feeling the urge to color again. Oh, I want to show. This is one that I really wanted. Oh, I wanted to get this one done, but I just didn't have the inspiration. I started this one last year, and it was like Mother's Day Mermaid thing, and I'm so close to being done. I don't know what the holdup is, but oh my gosh, I love how she's turning out. Whoa, I didn't know I could do that. Okay. But yeah, just kind of pink-haired mermaid with the silver accents all around. The little baby. I was experimenting with using like pink and like colors from her hair and the shading and purple in the shading. I don't know if it's working or if it looks like she ran her shoulder into something. Got a big old bruise, but you know, I just need to. There's not that much left to finish. Like the seashells and his hair, and then I'd be done and finish this. So I don't. You know, sometimes things just. All right. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing all your videos today, tomorrow, whenever I post this, and I hope you have a great month.